So, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. There might be two, but realistically, I'll just say part one, part two. It could be that this is just one part. So, it is just a thing. But first, let's talk about this. What do we have? Well, we have the bee, the cage, and the students going back. Originally, they just went to where the military was, and I like the idea where it's like, the whole thing of Sam being like, it was like, I didn't do anything, because he didn't, because all he did was, like, just don't do, and all the, like, I can't say it, because, again, the wording isn't the thing I remember, just the vibe, it's just, like, that sort of thing of, like, it's that thing of, like, there's a message between the two of them, which is interesting, which let them go within the grounds and try an attack. Which is really fun. Because that leads to them finding the teacher and then them being like, yeah, even if you could save me, you're dealing with a person who can move faster than jet engines and move faster than missiles and basically move faster than light. Basically indestructible by most explosive and military grade equipment. And it took the most armies to try and defeat it. Yeah, do you really think this is going to stay alive? One, the assassination classroom and assassinations in the title there would have been something to do with it. And two, no country would agree to that. No. So, what? What does it mean? And then, you have the cake, you have all of this stuff, and then you have the Ripper. Not obviously the Ripper, but the other one. He's back with the tentacles. There's a whole scene with him discussing how if he was a better teacher, because he taught him. And this is sort of the moment where you realise that. I think I've said it before, but I don't think you learned it until now. That he regrets that, and if he was a better teacher, things might have gone differently. Things might have gone better. And the regrets he had. But you also have, you're a person before, the sister who fell in love with Koro Sensei. She gets shot. And through like the, what do you do when we get shot, the thing, this is one of the ones where it's like, oh yeah, this person gets saved. It's one of the two times. This one I prefer more than the other time where like someone looks like they should have died but came back. Because there is thematic reasonings. The last one is Mr. Elevator's teacher who came back of, oh, I thought you were dead. I wasn't. I don't like that because there's no reason and no idea and the reason of like, oh, he died but no he didn't. I don't like. But this one I'm a little bit fine with because it is a precedent. Because her sister also died through an abdomen wound. And because he was so, if you look earlier on, writing tests specifically for each student, starting to write what do you do if someone has a get shot through the stomach and how to solve it and cure it and make sure they don't die kind of tracks definitely after the fact that you learn of what happened to her when she did die. But this is the last attack because this is one of the last attacks that the man was sort of like white cloak sort of like because it's the anti-Mimi costume sort of attacks this person because you've had the 3 original attacks with him, the twist with the person with the tentacles in the back, that was a student, that was the sister of the person who fell in love with Koro Sensei, and then the student. And every single time with all these tricks and things, it's really interesting to see what's going to happen now, what is happening. But when you go to this, it's interesting because at all of this, the last thing is there was a beam that there's going to shoot another beam and they're going to kill him. So what they do is they come together, put all their arms and legs, and do that. Obviously, realistically, he won't move. So all of them could have just been like, yep, I'm not going to do this. And it would be fine. But there's a whole thing of being together. And all of them knew that it's either they or the government. I also like the fact that there's such a big time frame, because you have the firing, them going to the bottom of it where the army is, them going up to Coruscant and knocking out a couple of guards, a whole conversation and King giving up the presents, a whole fight with the Reaper, and then the whole which I think is really good. And most of the time, I usually listen to anime dubbed, but sometimes with songs, I mostly listen to subbed. Well, not subbed. I just listen to it how it is. The only two I do is the Shadow House ending. I can't explain to you why. It's just I liked that one, and that's the only one. The other one is the one talking this, which is a that song that's played when intermitting of him saying his piece about how he sees the class grow is so moving. This is one of the reasons why I think of this thing. And I might talk about that legitimately in Assassination 1, which won't be in episode 1, but will just be no background, just it. So I might talk about that more in depth in that one. Definitely with the song. I'm not going to say I know much about music. Not important. But I want to leave that for its own episode. But it does have certain meanings. When you start to get down to it, it is interesting. After that, you have a moment. Obviously, I'm like, and then I skip a major part of it, but I want to leave that to something. So sorry I've repeated myself 3 times at this point, but the beam shoots, and they go through a couple of moments of what happens afterwards. Where the students go, what happens with the students, some of which go to the sort of do sort of stuff as like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The like what happens to the main island, the main thing, and how they spent the money, which makes sense of like, oh, they gave back a bit, they put a bit of savings. Do you know school they did mention that they accidentally had the person who was the young kid's school where like he fell off his bike and got seriously badly injured and he was like really old. They gave more money to him so that can happen. Bit of savings and buying obviously for him. Obviously the person who was in charge of the school was asked to no longer be in charge of the school. I'm sorry, you can't really take many bribes if one of the things that you're meant to be doing is this. This is a good series, but the amount of legal lines that they cross is a lot. I don't think any of this is legal, obviously. But it shows a certain level of intrigue that is pointed out. And this is obviously the point where, of the 3 students that were mentioned beforehand, besides the one who died, 2 of them came back and he's like, oh, let's celebrate being together. And I like that. I think there's more to it, but I find it interesting. I also like that Karma goes, yeah, I'm going to stay in the school for high school. It's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I want a good intellectual rival. I just love that. It's like, yeah, why am I not surprised? You also have the professor, which turned back into Asian, but I'm still going to call him Professor. I don't use his name, but that's in a few of my books. And Miss Yelovich actually somewhat be it, sort of like thing together, and it's really fun. And that sort of wraps it up. Obviously, like I said, there's one more. I don't want to talk about that too much because there is a meaning to it. But this was one. Maybe I want to rewatch some animes when I'm by myself and have some time. So I might talk about some others like this because I do love this. I've got like several videos on the topic. This has been fun. It's obviously also going to be a combined. It's going to be a big one. But that's going to be after the Saturday video. And that coming out. But yeah, this is fun. It's insane. And I absolutely love this. And I definitely think, let's leave that for tomorrow. But I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you like. And good night.